I never thought I would be sitting in front of the mirror, fighting without all of my old dreams. At least my mom thinks I'm a winner. And there were times I nearly lost my mind. Hard to think, hard to feel alright. And sometimes I thought I could die, knowing that I didn't even really try. When I look back and see now I'm shining like books on a shelf, I pay honor to myself. And when I look back and I see now I'm thriving, they say it's a journey.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this episode of Peace Talks. This is a series where we catch up with the artists that come in to play for us at the Marr Bar in Worcester. And today I'm joined by Czafari. Hi Czafari, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
This is actually a bit of a special one because you're the first of our Sunday service artists that we've had. We started Sunday service back in May this year, and we've done about five, I think, so far. But I've not been able to have time to get around to interviewing people before the gigs. So for these ones, so we've been doing the interviews for the jazz gigs. So you're our first Sunday service interviewee. So
Nice.
thanks for joining us. And the other thing I like about, I suppose, not necessarily maybe by accident, but the Sunday service so far has been all West Midlands based bands as well. So
Yes.
it's good to be able to feature some local stuff because the jazz program tends to get people from all over the country and a lot of people coming up from London as well. But it's great to explore what's going on in the West Midlands as well. So thank you so much for joining us.
Of course.
So you'll be playing for us on Sunday. We're recording this on the Friday, so it's only a couple of days away. We just had a gig last night at the Marr Bar, which was fantastic. So that's Sunday the 30th of November. There we go. We'll put the Christmas tree up the day after that, can't we?
Yeah, that's on the list.
Fantastic. So let's find out a little bit more about yourself then. Are you from the West Midlands originally? I think.
Yes, I am. So I'm actually from the Black Country, Tipton.
Right.
So there's not much going on in Tipton, but it's quite known for its famous pie factory. So Tipton, there's a pie factory, and you can have like a range of pies, and this what Tipton is known for, to be honest. But yes, I am from the Black Country.
Cool. And how did it start for you musically?
It actually started, I feel like it started from as soon as I was born. But what happened was I've always just had a love for music, and my parents spotted it pretty much instantly. So I started singing in a choir when I was around 4 or 5 years old. And it was my mom who kind of pushed me to just keep singing, and she entered me into like talent competitions. And the first kind of talent competition that I did, I was Jamelia, which is another artist from Birmingham, and I was singing her song Superstar, and I was only 6 then. And my sister and her friend were like my backing dancers, and that was my first proper experience being on the stage when I was young. And I just even to this day, I remember how much I enjoyed it.
Wow.
And it's just always been in my bones to just be on the stage and perform, and it's just always been a thing in my life. And I've also trained as a dancer, I trained in musical theatre as well. So it's not always just been singing. There's different forms of music, but that's kind of just, it's just always, I've never ever stopped doing something related to music, to be honest. It's just always been like that. So it started from when I was young, and it's just kind of continued to flourish as I've got a little bit older. And now I am Czafari and making my own music instead of singing other people's songs.
That's fantastic. And did you do music at school as well?
Fun fact, I did do music at school. I did music GCSE, but I actually failed it.
Okay.
I got an E. And that's...
What do they know?
Exactly. But to me, it was very. I've got ADHD, so I wasn't very good academically, but I was definitely creative.
Mhm.
So the kind of practical side of like studying music, not the practical, kind of like the theory side,
Yeah.
was quite difficult. But that was kind of the chunk of the GCSE. So unfortunately, I failed on that. But if it was a GCSE on writing songs, I would have probably passed that. Because again, from probably age maybe 10, I started writing songs. Like
Mhm.
they didn't really mean anything, but I just loved writing and I loved
Yeah.
music. So why not write a song?
Cool. Yeah. So it would have been just, I suppose, a year or so after leaving school that you put your first EP together, Human
Yes.
Legitimation.
Yes.
So yeah, talk us through how that came about then.
So that was quite an interesting thing actually, because I actually worked on that at my local youth centre in Tipton.
Right.
Again, my mum was like, "Oh, you need a hobby, you need to do something," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And she found this place where, like, literally just kids from the local area would go and make music or would dance, and it was just a space, and it was for free as well. So I would go and I would literally walk there every week and just kind of make music with like a guy who was mentoring the young people there, and he was like, "You need to sing," um, and he kind of put it all together for me, and then just kind of I didn't really think much of it. I just thought, oh, let me put it on SoundCloud, share it to my friends and family on Facebook. I did, and then literally I was 17 getting gig bookings, and I couldn't say no because then I still loved to perform. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to say yes, I'm going to perform. And that was how kind of Czafari started and how I got to doing gig bookings from a young age. And back then I was literally just performing with a backing track and the DJ just pressing play on on my songs. And I remember being, I think probably like 18 and saying, one day I'm going to perform with a band, and it's happening. And I'm looking forward to performing with a band at the show on Sunday. So it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. So, yeah, because I saw you played at the mostly jazz funk and soul
Yes.
festival this year. I've got the I dug my T-shirt out.
Ah,
This year's
yes.
T-shirt. That was a lineup for everyone
Perfect.
I'm watching.
Ah,
Yeah, I think that's a great little festival actually because
it's lovely. It is
it's
lovely.
and it's great to get there early at the early part of the day when there's the
Definitely.
smaller acts that we've not heard of coming through and
Yeah, yeah. And
um,
again, mostly jazz was also on my bucket list. I think as like an independent artist from Birmingham slash West Midlands, that was always a festival that I had my eye on, and I was like, I want to perform there. I need to perform there.
yeah.
And I think it was in 2021. I actually DJ'd there,
Okay.
and that was a great experience. But again, in my heart, I was like, I need to actually perform with a band here. And then 2025, it came to life. So and it was amazing. It was really hot, but it was amazing. It was like,
Yeah, it's a good one.
yeah,
I would have missed the first one I went to was 22. So yeah, I would have missed your DJing
yes,
set. But yeah, I found I actually booked two bands from that gig because I've just started up in the May of that
yes,
year, and then went along to the festival and thought, all right, I better get some bands.
yes, 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 yes.
So that was really useful. But yeah, I've been every year since, and
Mhm.
it's been yeah, it's hot weather. We've had torrential rain and all
As
sorts of
well, yeah. I remember that year.
That's a fucking fantastic thing going on in Birmingham.
Yes, it's amazing, definitely.
If you're watching this and you've not been, get along to the next one. It's in June. Is it June or July? July, I think, isn't it?
July, yeah, yeah.
I've got
It's
my
one for
tickets.
the list. Yes.
Cool. So yeah, there was a little bit of a break, wasn't there? So you've got your EP Things Take Time that was released earlier this year.
Yes.
So yeah, what happened? What happened then?
So I was obviously quite young when I first released my first EP. And a lot of life changes happened in between then and this year. So I kind of got into working full time, so I didn't have a lot of time to release music or work on music. I also became a mom, so that also kind of took a lot of my time as well. And I had to put a lot of effort, a lot of time into raising my baby girl. But at the same time, I tried to find little moments where I could release just singles when I could, which I did. So they were kind of a little bit sporadic, but I still felt the need in me to kind of release music, whether it was like just a song or a couple of songs, I needed to do it.
Yeah.
But then I think it was probably 2023, I had a wave and I was like, I need like a bundle of work because I've got to a point in my life where I just want to talk about a bunch of stuff. So I was like, I'm going to have to release an EP. I know it's been a long time, but I'm just going to do it. And that's exactly why I called it Things Take Time, because it's taken me a bit of time to actually release another EP. But it was a way to kind of summarize motherhood for me, the kind of the journey of a change in identity for myself and just the way how I'm viewing the world now. Because I think my first EP, it didn't really mean anything. I was just kind of experimenting, having a bit of fun, just writing really, and just it didn't mean anything. Whereas I feel like Things Take Time, it means so much to me, and like the songs individually have their own little meaning, and hopefully people can relate to it as well.
Excellent. And I believe your daughter features in one of the videos, isn't it? So one of the tracks is Kayim, isn't it?
Kayim, yes, that's the one.
So, there's a track on Things Take Time that's titled Kayim, and she also appears in the video. Is that her in the video?
Yes, it is. Time? Yes, it is. That's her. So she makes her she makes her appearance. That's for sure on this project.
Adorable. No, that's great. So how old is she now then?
She is 6 now.
Wow.
So, and the thing is, she's we are very similar. She's very creative, and she needs to kind of be doing creative things, and that's why I thought, you know what, I'm going to get her on the project so she can see what I'm doing, and then hopefully in the future, when she gets a little bit older and she wants to pursue a creative, anything creative, she can do it basically.
Brilliant.
Yes.
And does she sing around the house?
She does actually. She's got an amazing voice. Like when I think she's going to probably outdo me as she gets older. She's got a great voice. Great voice.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So you're obviously that's kind of influenced, as you're saying, influenced a lot of your music and your songwriting. How do you go about? Is there a sort of process that you go through for writing songs, or you know, does it change each time? Or
I wouldn't say there's a particular process, but I love writing, so journaling is kind of a big thing for me. It's been a big thing for years. Even before I started songwriting, I would just always kind of put my thoughts down on paper when I had a moment, because I've got ADHD, loads of thoughts always go through my mind, and then sometimes I need to just put them down on paper. Whether it's just like ideas or just feelings, I've always just kind of put them down on paper, and then like I've got thousands, I'm going to say thousands of notebooks of just my brain on paper.
Right.
And it's a good kind of reference to know what I want to write about for a song, because there's just so many feelings that I feel like anyone just experiences on their day-to-day basis. You don't actually remember sometimes.
Yeah.
But then when you look back, you can think, oh, on that day I was feeling like this. And sometimes that's how I kind of take inspiration to write a song. And it's just getting your thoughts down on paper. And it's such a good release as well. And a few years ago, I started to facilitate songwriting workshops for young people. And that's kind of what I teach them. I kind of teach them to make sure they have a notebook or use their notes app on their phone to kind of get any thoughts or feelings down when you need to. And then if you want to write a song, you've kind of got a bit of a reference point there. And, you know, it's a good reference point just to kind of getting your feelings out, because music is emotional. So yeah, I think that's kind of like I don't always do it like that, but mainly with songwriting, I kind of look back at my journal and get the feelings out, you know, from when I started to write in the
Yeah.
moments before. So yeah.
And then musically, how does the melody come together? And
That's a good question, actually. So for me, I've always worked with producers to kind of find a melody. So somewhat, even to be fair, when I first started writing music, I would find instrumentals on YouTube and just listen to them, and then
Mhm.
just kind of find the melody within the instrumentals. But then recently, as I've kind of developed in my career, I've worked together with a producer. So they'll kind of like figure out a beat, but then I'll kind of tell them, oh, I want the melody to sound like this. So it's more collaborative.
Yeah.
And I prefer that, to be honest, because it makes the music fresh. But it is for anyone who wants to like start songwriting. It is a good way to kind of just find some instrumentals on YouTube and play with melodies, and it's a good way to find your voice as well.
Mhm.
But I think as you develop, it's good to work together. If you are working with a producer, work together to figure out exactly what the sound is.
Cool. I'll ask a topical and potentially controversial question about
Mm.
AI.
Oh my gosh,
What's your
yes.
thoughts on that? Would you use AI to come up with as a tune or a melody for something, or would you use it for some inspiration?
Honestly,
Or would you?
it's a battle. I at the moment I'm very 50-50 with AI. I think it's a great tool if you use it properly. However, I don't think it's a great tool if you rely on it.
Mhm.
So for me, I if you needed to use AI for like an idea, that's fine. But I wouldn't let it write a song for you. For example, I would probably ask AI, oh, I've been feeling a particular way recently. What's kind of like a theme for a song that could kind of relate to how I've been feeling? Okay, cool. You've been feeling really low and blue. Maybe write a song about feeling low and blue. Okay, cool. Leave me to do that. I will do the creative work. It's more kind of like using it in a way that's a tool rather than replacing what you would do
Yeah.
creatively. So I do think it's a good thing, but I think it's a bad thing when people are kind of using it to actually recreate a voice or write the lyrics for you, because you're taking away your creativity, and it's also kind of like downplaying an artist or downplaying a
Mm.
musician on their skills. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think there's correct ways to use AI without abusing it or without kind of getting rid of your skills. Like your brain still needs to be proactive. You
Mm.
can't rely on it. But that's my view on it. I'm not very hot on hearing AI music. To be honest, it's not a good thing. And there's so many talented people out there. So
Exactly, yeah, and it's the emotional connection with you. That's
yes,
what music's about, right? It's
yeah,
it's come from a human feeling and
exactly.
human experience,
Yes,
and
yes.
and that has to play a part. And I think yeah, there's if you look at technology and how it's been used through the decades,
Mm,
from when synthesis became, oh, we no longer need a brass section or a string section,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it makes recording a lot cheaper. You don't have
Yeah.
to
Yeah. Yeah.
17 people in the studio to do a recording, but
That's true.
yeah. So I think, like you say, it's technology that is
Mm.
there, and but like all technology, it's how it's used that
How it's used.
um,
Definitely. Definitely.
will potentially improve quality of stuff,
Yes.
potentially make real
Yes.
dross.
Literally.
And I think we're heading for lots of dross, which I think I've spoken about this a few times on this interview series, that the live performance experience will become more valuable as
100%.
come because you're in the room experiencing something that the real human connection, which is always what I've loved about live music.
Yes.
rather than just sort of listening to a tune on the radio. And when it's background noise, you know, like background noise, background music, such when you're doing something else, you put, you know, if it's on the radio or if it's on whatever your streaming platform you listen to, probably not paying it much attention.
It's true.
But yeah, true. The live experience is really important, I think. And
it is, and
hopefully it will become more so as time goes on, because it took a bit of a kicking in 2020, 21.
Definitely. But I think it is really important as well, because of social media, you have a lot of artists who kind of go viral on social media, but then because they've kind of gone viral really quickly, they haven't actually had the time to experience performing live. So their songs are amazing online, but then when they come to performing live, they're probably anxious, they don't know what to do. So I really value performing live, even if you feel like you're going to be shit or really bad. It's really good to get that experience and just get that confidence up, build it up over the years, and then, you know, you'll be a better performer if you keep doing it, rather than, there's a lot of TikTok artists that have gone viral, but then when they perform, it's not a performance. You might as well just listen to the song on a streaming platform. So it's like, literally listening to music live is good for the audience, but it's also good for the artist as well, to get that experience up for them. I've enjoyed it. I've learned so much along the way even.
Yeah, and let's explore the band idea as well, because you said, you know, to start with, you just sort of sing along to backing tracks and such. How does that change? And is the band sort of involved in putting the music together now as well, or do you tend to go to the band?
No, so really the way how it works to me is, because I work with a producer, it's the kind of like me and the producer, but then I work with session musicians to kind of bring the tracks to life, which to me it's such an amazing experience when it's live. It hits different. Whereas like when I was performing live by myself with just a DJ, I felt a little bit more nervous because I was by myself, and I was young as well. But I felt like the attention was just on me, as it should be, don't get me wrong, but it was just on me. But whereas when I started to kind of perform with a band, maybe I think it was probably like 2018, maybe 19, it just felt so comforting, because it wasn't just me on stage, it was the whole band, and everyone could appreciate each musician on stage individually. Obviously, they're listening to my music, but they could see the craft and the skills from the drums, the craft and the skills from keys, and, you know, everyone is so equally talented. And that's what I just love performing with a band, because it just, it hits differently. It hits so differently. I perform a lot acoustic as well, so I've done like a few sofa sounds around the UK and stuff. But again, that's a different experience. It's nice because it's really intimate and people can appreciate the music. But then performing with a band, it's another level.
Yeah. And I'm a little bit gutted because the keyboard player that you had with mostly is my friend Josh Bailey. He's a fantastic pianist.
Amazing.
He's actually got his own trio gig.
Yes.
Sunday over at Wolverhampton Arts Centre. So
yes,
if you're not coming to Czafari in Worcester, you'll be excused if you're going to Josh's gig in Wolverhampton. But there's no other excuses permitted.
Yes, that's a very good point.
But yeah, so let's talk us through the band. Who we got coming up?
So obviously you'll have me, but we'll have Jake on keys. He's actually someone who normally I perform acoustically, so he normally plays guitar for me, but he is an amazing keys player as well. And then we've got Tariq on sax. Again, we normally play together, but he normally plays keys for me, so it's a bit of a rotation this time. He is phenomenal as well. He's recently been doing playing sax for poetry in Birmingham, which again is such a cool thing to bring together. he's amazing. He's amazing. And then we'll have Cobbler on drums, who was playing drums for me at Mostly Jazz as well. Again, he's great. He literally travels around the world making music and performing. So he is a gem. And then we've got Dan on bass as well. I've never played with Dan before. But again, he is amazing. And somehow, even if I haven't played with someone for a long time, when we perform, it just comes together so nicely. So I think everyone's in for a treat. Rehearsals have been great, so everyone's in for a treat.
Fantastic. We're really looking forward to it. Before we close out though, I want to talk about your Sing Out of Trouble choir that you started up. So yeah, that's in the last couple of months, isn't it? I think.
Yes. So
it's pop up on social media. So yeah, tell us about that.
That has been crazy. So again, it's kind of perfectly aligned actually, because obviously I actually started singing in the choir when I was young, and I remember how rewarding that was for me as well. So it was literally an idea that me and my friend was talking about a few months ago, about just starting an R&B choir in Birmingham, because there's like R&B choirs in the UK, mainly in London, but there's nothing like that here. And because I kind of have the skills in music facilitation anyway, and I just love connecting with people, I thought, why not? Let me get a choir together. I was initially thinking to just have a choir of around 15 people. But I was reaching out to people, but I didn't really hear anything back. So I was like, I'm going to have to maybe put a video on Instagram/TikTok, and it went viral. So now I have a choir of 60 members, and there's 100 people on the waiting list as well, which is it's crazy. But at the same time, it's been so interesting to hear why people have come to join Sing Out of Trouble, because they're looking for a hobby, they want to connect with other people, like they're kind of sick of social media and they want to have more in real life experiences. And then people just kind of want to build their confidence up as well, like they sing in the shower, they sing at home, but they don't sing anywhere else. So everyone's stories come together, and it makes Sing Out of Trouble, and it makes this really beautiful community feel in Birmingham. And people are traveling to come to choir, like there's people from Telford, people from Coventry, people are coming from everywhere just to be in the choir. And it's a really good mix of people as well. Like it's amazing. And at the moment we're doing some rehearsals, but next year hopefully we're going to be performing live. So we're going to be taking some bookings soon. Now, if you want to
cool stuff. Well, I think it sounds perfect for our Sunday service, soul, gospel, R&B, and reggae.
Exactly. Yes.
I'm not sure we can fit 60 people on the stage.
I know. Yeah. literally, we have to break it up into like kind of small groups, but it's the fact that everyone is so talented, and they're not like professional singers or anything, but they can, like, together they can sing. So I'm really blessed, and I'm really grateful to be leading it, to be honest, because it's going to be a really good thing. Really good thing.
You're doing a grand thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sure they all appreciate it too, but it's great when you get people that are inspired to start those kind of community projects. So well done.
Yes, thank you.
So yes, I shall let you get on now, and we'll see you in just a couple of days at the Marr's Bar. So for those watching, it's doors 4:30. Start at 5. Pay what you can on the door, and we'll see you there. Thanks very much, Czafari.
No, thank you so much. It's been amazing.